This episode is brought to you by SafeJet, the operators of the anti-dump mechanism that you see all other DeFi projects copying. SafeJet is the safest coin in the crypto game, protecting you from your whales and chart manipulators. That way your investment is still there in the morning. Free travel, cash giveaways, an experienced and doxed team also lets you lock, fly, and land with SafeJet. For more information, visit safejet.io, link in the description below.
In a world where hopium and common sense collide, starring the Crypto Keeper and Blockchain Crusader. Welcome to Debate Crypto.
Question everything,
trust nothing.
It's your boys, Keeper and Crusader, and we are here for a Saturday Night Live. We got J Chains and Crypto Blood in the house. What is up, gentlemen? How we doing?
Chilling, man. Chilling.
Doing great, man. Doing great.
How you guys? Blood out. Did he repping Detroit back over his shoulder? I'm guessing. Is that you back home? Yeah. Oh, there you go. And J Chains is working with his apes in the background and on his hat. He's letting people know what time it is. He's like, I got that big NFT money, baby.
We're going in, man. We're waiting for that dip, and then we're going in hard.
Heck yeah, let's get it. So, Crypto fam. First of all, we appreciate you all for being here. It's a Saturday night. You could be anywhere, but hey, here you are hanging out, kicking it with us. We're going to dive into some topics tonight. I'm going to let Miguel get into in a second, but make sure that you guys jump into the Discord. The free mint, the stimulus mint is going to be July 30th. So if you haven't heard, now you know. Make sure you guys get involved with that. That mint's going to allow you to jump into the mints after that. It does a lot more for you than just the initial mint. So you're going to want to get involved in that. Don't miss it. Let's smash the likes as we get more and more people in here. Chat. Let's have some fun in there. And yeah, Miguelito, what is on the podium this evening?
So tonight we've got Canada. Massive outage going on over there, right? Supposedly they're starting to recover today already, but big outage nonetheless. We're talking about 911 calls couldn't go through, banking, internet, all kinds of things were out. Then we've also got Peter Schiff kind of taking a shit when his bank got closed down. So we're going to be talking about that, and we're going to be talking about how crypto could be a solution to all these problems, or is crypto also headed to these problems nonetheless down the future with regulations coming up? So that's what we're going to be hitting tonight, man.
I sure hope so. My portfolio sure hopes so. I think everybody in this room sure hopes that it is definitely a solution as we move forward. Real quick, before we dive into the topics, I just want to hit the markets real quick. Let's take a peek real quick. All right, so the global crypto market cap, let me update this, is at $957.62 billion with a B dollars, down 0.19%. We got Bitcoin hanging tough at 21,597, ETH at 1215. Those are both doing just about nothing, down 1%, 1.5%, 2%. BNB at 243, XRP up. Look at that, Miguel. XRP with green in front of it, up almost 9%.
Don't get used to it.
At 34 cents. Cardano. I know we've got a Cardano fan in here and a not Cardano fan in here. Isn't that right? J Chains, you like Cardano, and Blood, you're not a Cardano fan, right?
I have some Cardano, but I wouldn't call myself a fan.
Well, I know DZ is for sure.
Oh, those guys are like fanboys. Like they are fanboys for sure.
Yeah, I don't like XRP or Cardano, but XRP left. Hey, I actually have a hate for XRP.
Oh boy. Maybe I brought you on for the wrong topic tonight.
Yeah, man, you never know. You better be ready for Crypto Blood.
We'll keep it open for you. Don't worry. We'll bring you back for it. And then we got the number 9 to 10 slot at Solana and Dogecoin. So that's the markets, guys. Nothing much really going on. All right, let's dive into this. So first of all, before I jump into any of the articles, gentlemen, J Chains, Blood, Crusader, have we heard anything at all as it relates to this stuff that's going on up in Canada? Anything, any little tidbits or little birdie whispering in your ear? Anything that you want to throw out there before I dive into one of the articles, something that you've been hearing?
I know I have. I've been hearing some stuff. They blame the whole situation on a malfunction on one of their routers on a maintenance upgrade. That's a big mistake to knock down 911 calls and banking systems and all kinds of internet connections. People were piling up inside of cafes just to be able to stay connected to the internet. So I think that they're covering up something. I think that sounds a little fishy to me. Yeah. So
No doubt. No doubt. Let me pull this up real quick. I'll pull it up and we will get this. Where did it go? Sorry about that, guys.
I think they're priming people, man. I think they're priming people, testing them, see what kind of reactions they will have when things do go out.
No doubt. It says massive network outage in Canada hits homes, ATMs, and 911 emergency lines. A major outage of mobile and internet networks caused widespread disruptions across Canada on Friday, affecting banks, police emergency lines, and customers in the second outage to hit one of the country's biggest telecom providers in 15 months. Customers gathered at coffee shops and public libraries to access alternate networks, while financial institutions reported problems with everything from automated machines to cashless payment systems. Rogers Communication said its technical teams were working to restore services as quickly as possible. The outage is likely to add to concerns about competition in the industry that is dominated by Rogers. We scroll down. The company, which has about 10 million wireless subscribers and 2.25 million retail internet subscribers, is the leading service provider in Ontario, and along with BCE and TELUS, controls 90%. That's right, 90% of the market share in Canada. So it says today's outage illustrates the need for more independent competition that will drive more network investment, so outages are far less likely, said Anthony Lacabera, managing director of Global Live, an investment firm that had a bid for a wireless provider involved in the Globers Rogers Shaw deal. Okay.
That's a fancy way of saying they need more decentralization.
Yeah, for fact, no doubt. So let me start off with you, Jay Chains. You hear, as we look around the world right now, there's a lot of question marks. People are questioning their everyday lives as to what's happening. Do I trust my government? Do I not? Can I own this? Can I say that? Can I do this? And now it's 2022. We're talking about having a telecommunications provider just flat out go out, to the extent of just the banking institutions going down, but 911 calls. Is this does this feel kosher to you, or do you feel that there might be a little something else going on here?
Listen, man, like I think everybody, like, you know, like what you say when you start your show, like, you know, question everything, or, you know, what your tagline is, right? Like, you have to at this point. Like, I mean, you're seeing all sorts of things all over the globe, whether it's, you know, the food manufacturing plants here in the United States, like, and maybe it is, you know, exponentially more than it normally is, or not. Who knows what it is, but it's in the public now, which it's not so normally in the past. So, like, you know, we're hearing more about this, and we're starting to say, like, hey, listen, maybe we do have to start questioning what's happening. Like, okay, so there's the, you know, the supply chain shortages, but, you know, if you look at, like, I think ports and all that kind of stuff, there are boats and all sorts of shit that's totally filled with goods, and I don't know, things aren't being delivered. I've seen, you know, vehicle manufacturing plants where there's just rows and rows and rows and rows of trucks that, you know, I tried to buy a truck and I couldn't get it. And, you know, like, so I think that a lot of these shortages and all this, you know, what's going on in the Netherlands, right, and with all the Dutch farmers, like, this stuff is being controlled for a reason. And we have to, like, trust our instinct and say, like, hey, listen, like, I think some people are doing some fancy stuff behind our back. We should be paying attention a little bit more. And I think that we've got social media, which helps us out. I mean, would you agree with that it makes us more aware of, like, what's happening, and maybe it's hard to get away with stuff now, I would hope.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. I think that's a really good point about social media too, because that's been probably one of the bigger things that has happened in terms of the last maybe 20 years or so. When social media came out, now all of a sudden people actually do have a voice, which is part of what I think scares some of these government entities. And I think that's what they're saying. Wait a minute, like, we got to capiche, we got to cut some of this. You know what I mean? It's too much.
And you're seeing people silenced too. You know, like when they start to get vocal, when they start to make noise and say, hey, listen, something's not right here. And you get a group of people, and then all of a sudden that leader's voice gets silenced. And, you know, like, that's the whole problem with centralized entities in tech and where we are, and why it's like there is a really important need for decentralization with social media. But the problem is you're just not going to get enough people onboarded to make it worth it at this point.
Blood, what are your thoughts on this, bro?
I'm going to take a different angle. I don't know if you guys knew about the corona mass ejections that happen, have been happening the last couple of days, or even the last week. That possibly be the cause of this outage. I don't know. I mean, maybe the power would have gone out as well, not just telecommunications. But as Jay Shane said, I don't trust the narrative. Whatever the main reason behind it, I don't trust that's the real reason, what you know, the real cause or issue behind this. It was either a hack, possibly from Russia, or I don't want to sound like, you know, one of them blaming Russia for everything. but we know they would never admit to Russia successfully, dropping a whole network, or North Korea. We know they are heavily involved in hacking and really possibly a bigger hacking network or group or entity than even Russia. So definitely not what they're telling us. We know not to ever believe what the headline is, but it does show that why the hell is there one central point of failure?
Yeah, no doubt.
That's a problem to me, to everyone in Canada. So it's disturbing. It definitely is disturbing. But just to be fully transparent and having people think outside the box, this is why it's important to have physical cash. I know we're crypto, right? But 95% of cash or money, fiat money, is digital too. So when you live in a digital fiat world, you need to have some physical fiat in your safe, along with that AR-15 and some bullets.
Bullets,
Amen.
beans, and bourbon, right?
Bullets, beans, and bourbon. I like
Triple
it. I
B,
like
baby.
it. No, I couldn't agree more. Miguel, what's going on in your crazy brain right now?
Yeah, dude. I mean, I completely agree with Crypto Blue. Right? There's a huge point of centralization that points to crypto being somewhat of a solution because we have a little bit more decentralization going on there. We cannot trust any of the mainstream media narratives. This whole thing about it just being a router malfunction, yada yada, from maintenance. That's a whole lot of BS. That's just a little spiel that they give to the normies to believe that was the whole cause of it, right? Like Blood said, they will never admit if it was Russia, China, or whatever other country out there doing something like this and knock down a network. I also don't believe. Wouldn't be surprised if it's within themselves, right? They're knocking down the networks. They're trying to test people's reactions to see how they would react to a moment where they have no connection, they have no internet. What are they going to do? Where are they going to go? Where are the first, social medias? Who are the first people to say something? And, just get a reaction of people, see how far they can push it before things get really bad, right? They had it for a little bit over 24 hours. Maybe next time is a few more days. So, and, they see how far they can push things. So I definitely think something like that would not be out of the cards at all, man.
That's really interesting that you mentioned that, like social experiments, right? Like throughout time, like governments have done social experiments on people to test preparedness and readiness and all this stuff just to see what reactions are. Well, a lot of the social media stuff is new. So they haven't had time to do that. Now that, there's this many users on social platforms and all that, let's pull some tests and see what happens. Let's see how fast word gets out about something. That's really interesting. That's conspiracy theory stuff,
dude.
I'm for it.
Yeah,
100%.
and I don't even think that the wild thing is we've been programmed that this word, the conspiracy theory, when you say that, I don't care who you are, that word, right? It kind of checks a little spot and it makes you think something crazy, right? Something nuts.
Yeah, but
wild
Keeper, we've got conspiracy theory and we got conspiracy fact.
100%.
Yeah.
Conspiracy is conspiracy fact. Let's just keep that clear.
That's right. The conspiracy theorists are batting about 800 right now. You are correct.
I'm trying to tell you.
I totally agree.
Yeah, man. And for the people that don't know, the word conspiracy was created by, I think it was either the FBI or the CIA, to literally create that negative connotation of going against the narrative and pushing people away from you're a conspiracy theorist, right? Oh, that person loses all credibility if they're labeled that way. So that just shows you the programming right there.
So I think it's interesting, Miguel. We've been talking about this for a little while. So for those of you that don't know, most of you in here probably do know, but we've got an NFT project called Danger Close Alpha, and we're trying to bring people into the preparedness world. We're trying to get people to wake up to the fact that, hey, things aren't always as they seem, and if nothing else, it's not a bad idea to get yourself prepared. And so Miguel and I have been talking about how, hey, we believe that if they were to cut a lot of people talk about a grid down situation. And part of what we've talked about is, okay, let's talk through that. Well, if the grid's actually down, the same people that are trying to control us, they need to communicate as well. They need some of those lines of communication open. So we don't believe that it would be so much that if it was a purposeful event, it would be more along the lines of, hey, we're going to bottleneck these social media lines of communication because we got ways to talk on our own over here, here, and here. And so what Miguel and I have done, and we're working on with some of these techies, is working on this private server for all of our holders to be able to communicate, because we think it's really important. Communication, listen, I was in the Marine Corps, and one of the most important things that you could have besides your rifle is communication, is your radio. Your radio man is freaking important. He's right up there with your freaking your Navy corpsman, your medic, right? That's super freaking important. And why? Because look at it this way. If the four of us right now, so Blood's up in Detroit, J Chains, where are you, Eric? Georgia?
Yeah, just north of Atlanta.
J Chains is in Georgia. Miguel is down in Miami, and I'm in Columbus, Ohio. So we are on literally north, a little bit, farther south, dead south, and then southeast. We're all over the place right now, right? But if we have reach and we have people and we have our people in our different areas, if we can get information from point A to B to C to D, and we're able to actually coordinate between those different areas and be able to bring together some ideas, bring together some actual, get some traction on things that need to happen in different areas, it is a way different situation than just going in blind. When people are going into a situation blind, you bust into a building and you have no idea what you're coming into, you're in trouble. And so I think the communication is freaking huge there. And what I see happening here in Canada, to Miguel's point, if they are testing, right, they are, I believe, more testing exactly what Miguel was talking about, the reaction. What are they going to do? Are people going to totally trip? Are they going to coordinate? Are they going to be able to get organized? Are they going to certain places? Because then we can watch those places and say, okay, everybody went to Starbucks. Let's make sure Starbucks is off the menu. And I think it's really interesting to see, like, what does that social experiment, if it indeed was that, what does that look like? And how do we then react to that?
Yeah, man. And the bottlenecking of social media, right? They're definitely going to show you the people that jump onto social media and they try to say things, try to push information out there, like, hey, this is happening in Canada, right? These are people to watch out for. That's the kind of information they don't want spreading. And this is the purpose of the server. It's not just so that we can communicate, but so that we can also have privacy. You don't want to be on Twitter and on YouTube broadcasting your plans and your situation that's happening right next to you, because then you become a target. So having privacy and having a private server where you can do this kind of communication is very, very important.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, man. I totally agree. So I want to kind of move into a little bit different topic, although albeit kind of similar, talking about the banking situations. Many of you know Peter Schiff. Okay. Peter Schiff has been a long time Bitcoin hater. And real quick, just pause for our station sponsor. 1 second. Hi, Boogie. Hi. 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 You want to say hi to everybody? You want to wave at everybody? You going to say hi? You going to say hi? Huh? No, not tonight? Okay. I love you. All right. So that's the station sponsor. That's my beautiful daughter, Addison. She is growing up so freaking quick. Bye, baby. Oh, now you're going to wave when you're not on camera. Everybody wanted to see you wave. Okay. All right. So
I thought sponsors paid you, not take money from.
Listen, you're right. That's a good point. That's a good point.
What hell of a sponsor for you, boy?
Miguel, we've been doing it wrong, bro. We didn't know how this thing works. We're new to this. We're trying to figure it out.
Oh, that's funny.
So yeah, so Peter Schiff. Let me actually just pinch a little bit off of this this article right here. So Peter Schiff, your boy Peter, who has been a big time crypto hater over the years. Check this out. So here's him right there. Crypto hater Peter Schiff would accept Bitcoin as payment for his troubled bank. Oh, would you, Peter? Okay. Famous cryptocurrency critic Peter Schiff answered in the affirmative when asked if he would sell his troubled Euro-Pacific bank for Bitcoin. Despite his dislike of cryptocurrencies, if such a deal were approved by the regulator, he would agree to it, Schiff said. The economist argued his position with the fact that it is important for him, first and foremost, to protect his bank's clients. Schiff also agreed with another user that when dealing with cryptocurrencies, one does not have to worry about his bank being shut down, but has to worry about Bitcoin collapsing in market value, the investor sarcastically noted. Excuse me. Schiff said regulators wanted to liquidate the bank for tax evasion and money laundering, even though the bank had no evidence of either. However, he also admitted that violations of the necessary requirements did occur, explaining that the bank was new to Puerto Rico and held less money than it should have. According to the crypto hater, running a small bank costs a lot of money, and the bank earned nothing from its operations. That is when crypto enthusiasts recalling the economist's statements that cryptocurrencies are a scam and traditional finance is the pinnacle of excellence began to admonish him on Twitter about how important Bitcoin is and urged him to rethink his approach and his views. Miguel, I think you've got a little bit more information on this. You talked to me about it earlier. Tell me, this article doesn't really dive in. What happened with Peter Schiff? What happened with his bank down in I think it was Puerto Rico?
Yeah. So basically he got accused of, doing some fraud, doing some sketchy stuff. And according to him, there's just accusations. They don't have any evidence of anything. And due to that, they shut the bank down, right? And that just goes to show a point of centralization once again, that just because there's speculation that you're doing something wrong, these entities can come in and shut you down. We've talked about it before on the personal level, not even on the banking level. On the personal level, if they ever want to act upon you, they freeze all your assets, your accounts, and you're done, right? This is the importance of being self-custody, being your own bank. This is what crypto helps you do. And I think he's coming to that realization right now. But I also believe 100% that this spat that he has, this whole narrative that he's a Bitcoin hater, is all facade. This is all created just to get attention from the crypto industry and the gold industry. Because what a coincidence that his son 100% is into Bitcoin. Where did his son get all that money from? Good old daddy, right? So
yeah.
And he's all into Bitcoin. They have these like little back and forth tweets. It's just a marketing tactic for him. I honestly don't believe he's a Bitcoin hater. He's been accepting Bitcoin for gold for quite a bit of time already. So
on his
he's
website.
Not new. Yeah, on his website, exactly.
Yeah,
so he's not new to Bitcoin. I think it's all fake news, bro.
No, man, I think it's that, it's like that almost a coordinated FUD style thing. And like you said, it's a marketing tactic. That's all that it is, because that he's into it. I actually was just watching, with everything that's happening in crypto, you're paying attention to stuff, watching old videos. So I was actually watching it was an interview between Alex Mashinsky and Peter Schiff. And there was like this moderator lady, and he was just being such a dick about Bitcoin. And all this stuff, but again, just like, yes, I think that's all the front, right? Like that's just kind of the whole look of it, but really behind the scenes, like he's sitting on a stack of Bitcoin. That he is.
Oh yeah,
man,
no doubt.
It's just the fact that he's always touching the topic, right? Nobody's even talking to him about Bitcoin, and he's tweeting about it. He's constantly tweeting about it. He doesn't let the topic go. If you hate something truly so much, you don't even try to give it attention, right? You don't want other people to know about something that is trash, that's somebody that you don't want it to be involved with in the first place. But giving it that highlight all the time, it's just a marketing tactic, man.
Real quick, just before Blood, I have you weigh in on this. Kenton, thank you very much for the super chat. Kenton putting out a super chat, says in support of the channel sponsor. And now that Blood, pointed that out to me, we're going to need lots of super chats, guys, because you're right. The sponsor is really eating in,
draining the bank
of funds. So, no, so Blood, you know much about Peter Schiff? Kind of how he's been over the years. I'm sure you do, just because you've been in Bitcoin so long. What are your thoughts on this man and what he's got going on?
Out, so I don't know if you guys can or not.
Yeah, we're definitely getting some technical issues from your end there. Definitely can't hear you very well at all. Kind of broken up.
All right. Well, then let's shit. Oh,
I think he's back. I think he's back.
You back? Blood?
Yeah. Can you guys hear me?
Now we can. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay, guys.
All right. Blood's having some issue. Let me, Miguel, you want me to pull him off for a second? Pull him off, and then he can,
yeah. Then he can come back in.
All right, sorry about that, folks. So let me weigh in on Peter Schiff here and why this even matters. Part of the reason this matters, I think, in right now is because of the fact that we're in a bear market, and people are probably wondering, well, what does that have to do with it? Anything? I think it has to do with a lot, right? I think that during these bear markets, the things that you're going to hear us talk about, the things you're going to hear J Chains talk about, the thing you're going to hear BitBoy talk about, the things you're going to hear Blood talk about, you're going to hear us talk about, hey, not financial advice, but you should probably be thinking about accumulating. Right. And so if people that have been in this for a while, that have been through bear markets, that understand how this works in the long term, that understand the patience game, but that are not billionaires in their own right, right? If they're talking about accumulating, what do you think a man like Peter Schiff, who is accepting Bitcoin for gold, who does have a son who is absolutely all in on Bitcoin, right? I don't care. Listen, my dad and I might have some back and forth, now and then or whatever, but listen, I want the best for my dad. My dad wants the best for me, right? And if I'm accepting a form of payment, right, and I'm all in on it, and my dad brings it up because he's always in the headlines, is always talking about it. No publicity is bad publicity, right? So what are we doing here? He continues to try, just like Jay Chain said, to FUD the price down. Why would you do that? Well, if you were a billionaire, you want to see that price as low as it can freaking possibly get for not quite as long as, it can be, but to hold it down for some good amount of time so that I can continue to buy up your sell, like all of the news.
He's an insider, man. He's an insider.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And they want the noobs selling. And what are they going to do? They're going to buy that up. And I think that's what's happening here. It's giving them lower prices, opportunity to continue to buy at sub 20K or right at 20K, which they know long-term is a huge freaking blessing, to say the least, as it relates to Bitcoin. I don't think it's really anything more complicated than that. I do, however, want to say the whole banking side of this is interesting because I don't understand I don't know enough about his personal, the business side of things as it relates to his bank, but I don't know if it's that he has enough invested in Bitcoin that is directly tied to the bank to where they're trying to basically say, hey, we got to really take a look at this, or if it's just Peter Schiff being Peter Schiff, and again, another headline. I don't know. I'm not positive. Miguel, maybe
I think it's just him being him, and moving his stuff from the United States all down to Puerto Rico to get rid of some of the taxes and some of the BS that he was dealing with. That's and I think he just might be on the short end of some things, and they might have caught him on these people know how the inside works, and they know they can move paperwork around here and there and fudge the numbers for a short period of time before people start to get suspicious, and maybe people were just onto him. And he's such a smart guy, dude. I follow him for the conversations he has about the economics, about what's happening in the real world, because he's a smart guy. Whether he's completely wrong about Bitcoin or Bitcoin is a complete false narrative of his, he is smart. He knows gold is confiscatable, right? He knows that back in the day when the United States needed gold, they said, hey, you can no longer redeem your US dollars for gold. We are confiscating your gold. Everybody needs to sell their gold back to the United States ASAP, and gold became illegal in the streets. So he knows that even though it's a store of value like he claims it is, it can be taken away. So how much of a store of value is that if they can just come knocking on your door and take your gold away?
Yeah.
Bitcoin fixes that problem. They can't just come and knock on your door and confiscate your Bitcoin. So he has to know that is a solution to gold. It is the equivalent as much as possible that anybody can get close to gold digitally. It's Bitcoin. There's no arguing that. And the fact that he's such a smart guy and yet he continues to argue the point, I think that's where his flaw of it is a false narrative on his end.
Yeah. It has to be, but you have to remember. So, he's an investor, right? And the newest strategy that I'm just going to live by forever, I think, at some point, this is everybody should probably think about this, is that you buy when people are fearful and you sell when people are greedy. If you follow that, you can't lose. And if you're an investor, that's what you do, and you understand that principle. So he's got to understand that. And I think with the coordinated, and maybe at this point we just call it coordinated FUD, right? That's his persona, and that's what he does, because he understands that if he can get it to drop a couple of percent, because he's he's a gold guy, but he got a lot of money in the stock market too. So
and he's a headlines guy. So
and so those guys are cool with 3%, 5% in the stock market's oh shit, I'm having a pretty good day. So they're okay. If Bitcoin moves a little bit, hey, that's 2%, 3% cheaper than.
When you're dealing with tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars, a 2% move is a huge freaking move, right? I mean, you just need to understand that. I want to take a quick break again. Wanda Homie, aka Best Car Batman, $1 super chat. Appreciate you, brother. Said Chaos Magician, stacking sats fun. This is the way. It's for the children. Thanks, Juan. Appreciate you, brother. So let's bring this home. Let's bring this around. We also saw and I didn't have this listed earlier, but when we talked about this, but I want to bring this up, Miguel. We also saw, so we see stuff happening up in Canada now, stuff down in Puerto Rico. Let's talk about the homeland, if you will, right here in the good old US of A. We have your boy Joseph Biden giving millions of barrels of oil, not giving, hold on, selling millions of barrels of oil to the CCP. To what ultimately is a company that is owned by the CCP.
Elaborate that for the people because they don't know what CCP is.
So that's the Chinese Communist Party, right? And so there was, and correct me if I'm wrong, the company that and I saw this earlier and I was like, you've got to be kidding me. The company that he basically, so we are in turmoil. If you haven't filled up at the freaking tank recently, you know, if you haven't, then you don't know, but you probably know gas prices are absolutely insane. Right. And so we have a reserve that is for emergencies. That is what it is for. It is for security of our nation and emergencies, right? For the military, for if heaven forbid we needed some sort of financial like bailout, like oil is always going to provide as a way to do whatever the case may be. We turned around and made a decision to sell millions of barrels of oil of our own freaking oil,
strategic reserves,
our strategic reserves to fucking China. Sorry about my mouth. What are we doing here?
And not just anybody in China, but the company that Hunter Biden, Joe Biden's son, has a stake in, right? We already had big stake. We already had the whole dilemma with his laptop going missing, right? We've seen emails and calls of him saying, "Hey, don't worry, everything's taken care of." We spun the story left and right.
Don't forget about the crack pipe photos.
Oh my God, dude! All kinds of stuff. Has firearms when he's not supposed to. All kinds of craziness, right? In the emails, hey, make sure that the big guy knows that this. Who's the big guy? The old man, Joe Biden. Dude, the level of craziness. So we spoke about this in a Twitter space a couple of nights ago. It's crazy that in the 90s you can get impeached for a blowjob in the White House. Right. But selling strategic reserves of your oil during a moment with highest inflation, with the highest gas prices ever to the communist China is not an impeachable offense. That's an okay thing. Right. Yeah, and the greatest thing was I had this argument earlier with a friend and they clarified me. They were like, dude, he didn't get impeached for the blowjob. He got impeached for lying about the blowjob in court. So it wasn't even the actual act. It was the lie. The fact that he lied about it under oath was what he got.
There's never been any lies told under President Joe Biden. None.
And we got this guy over here selling strategic oil reserves, man.
Blood, you back, brother?
Yeah, I'm back, bro.
Listen, we dove into a little bit of the oil reserves being sold to China, right? If you didn't hear what we were just getting into, what I'm trying to bring home here is we have chaos happening all over the place. Now we're coming back into the good old US of A. It's happening obviously here as well. When you hear a story like this in particular, what are we doing? What are we doing, Blood? Selling strategic oil reserves? What are we doing? To China?
Yeah, we've been fully compromised here in the United States. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if it's China. I think it's some of it China. I would say 95% of the compromising has been China. They've infiltrated our our corporate world, Wall Street, even our government. We've been bought. So
real estate too. Real estate. They're buying up thousands or millions of acres worth of land.
Yeah, real estate is an interesting one as well, because if you look at how the tax laws are structured for Chinese entities and residents, they're able to buy real estate over here tax free. Now, who the hell, why are we doing this? They don't have to ever pay taxes on any capital gains from stocks that they purchase from our stock markets. They don't pay any capital gains on that. They don't pay any taxes on real estate they own. It's just crazy, bro.
Is this because it's because we owe them so much money and we can't pay them, right? So do we have to just give them shit?
That's a great point. That's actually a great point.
So we're beholden. So what you're suggesting is we're beholden to them.
Oh, we definitely are, I think.
Yeah, but I'm not trying to pick sides or play Republican, Democrat, but our previous president was starting to become, play hardball with China.
Oh yeah. Oh no, no doubt, no doubt.
Right? I mean, for real, tariffs. He was increasing tariffs. Maybe not all the policies were the greatest, but it was an effort it was a move in the right direction. We've been going in the wrong direction since, 2000, 95, back in the early 2000s and late 90s. Like so I think that we were going in the right direction, but they meaning, other people in our country, right? Both on the Republican and Democrat side, they both are in bed with China and other countries.
Mm-hmm.
Orange Man, I don't even want to say his name. Orange Man comes in, and you got to remember, Orange Man ran independent first go round. So he's really probably not a Republican. He damn sure ain't a Democrat. So I think that was our best chance at course correcting for America. I'm just with you.
Yeah. No. I'm with you, Blood. But one of the things I do want to say, and we talk about this a lot on here, and it needs to be brought up now, is that when we get into the Democrat Republican thing, the two-party system, right? What it does is exactly what social media does as well. A lot of times, it divides. We keep talking. You probably get so irritated with me talking about this, but I can't stress it enough. There's so much division. It's like, hey, draw a line in the sand, step on your side, and then let's fight, right? Well, that's not what this needs to be. This needs to be, hey, we as an American people should stand up and be able to come to some sort of an understanding that we don't have to all believe exactly the same, but we can stand for fundamental freedoms and rights that we right now, as I see it, are not doing. What were you about to say, Jay Chains?
No, I mean, I agree with you, and kind of the whole thing, and I know it's controversial too, but it's like, the fact that I think, if you're thinking about it on a I don't want to say conspiracy theory, like whatever we want to use to say these things, you've got the issue of abortion, right? Mm-hmm. That divided the country. Division. You've got the issue of the vaccine and COVID divided the country. They keep, in my opinion, I think we've gone through enough of this lately. And, we spoke about the social experiments and all that stuff. Like they keep putting us through this shit. Like
Black Lives Matter, division,
racism. Like I get it. Like that shit will go away. Like there really probably aren't that many racist people, but we keep highlighting it. Like just fucking let it go away, please. Sorry to swear. Just let it go away. Same thing. And I said this the other day on a live stream, and this is a little different, but women in Web3, just put them in fucking CEOs. Just put them in a position of power. We don't have to keep saying women in Web3. Just make it happen. If we don't have to highlight all these points, it's the Democrats, we got a female, vice president. Well, I thought you didn't care about genders, first of all, but if we do care about it, great. Let's just move forward.
Right. Yep. I'm with it, bro. Yeah. I'm totally with it. We create the division. We extrapolate on
first world problems, bro. You got no problems to complain about, so you got to make some shit up.
It has to be, right? It kind of has to be that way.
At the end of the day, guys, you already know what we're about. Question everything, trust nothing. We want you, when you hear the news or when you read something that you say, hey, wait a minute, let me critically think here. That's one of the things that we talk about with Danger Close Alpha. It's so many people are just willing to accept, just see information, accept, do as told. Well, it shouldn't be like that. You should be able to think for yourself, right? And come to your own conclusion. Me, Jay Chains, Blood, and Crusader should be able to sit down at a dinner table, have a discussion, have 4 different opinions on the same exact topic, not have a fist fight about it, not hate each other, not cuss each other out, and basically be able to look at, okay, I could see, that, or nah, you know what? I don't agree with that at all. And let me tell you why. And then boom. Okay, yeah, I can see why you don't, and have the conversation. That's not where we're at today. So my question to the 4 of you before we finish the stream tonight is, how are we going to get to the point where we can have those conversations, to where we can literally sit down, have a conversation, not agree on it whatsoever, and actually come to the point where we can say, hey, you know what? okay, I could at least understand where you're coming from, and boom, what are we going to do to move it forward as opposed to just staying divided? Can we do it? And if so, how are we going to do it?
We're too far gone, bro. I'm just
We're
gonna
too
be
far
honest.
gone.
Dude, same. You got to be.
We're too far gone.
People need to be reprogrammed. Like there's no other way. People.
We need the great reset, bro.
Shut up. We do not. Oh, nothing and love it.
Oh,
that's right. That's right.
But that's where we're headed, and that's what I think is scary. I think that a lot of times people think that when we talk about a lot of people have heard me talk about like the biometric screening, and we're headed towards being like China, and they hear that and kind of think that Keeper's just kind of being a little bit crazy here. No, I'm not. I'm just throwing out there that there are things happening right under your nose that could be detrimental to the way that our future, to the way that our kids are raised. And so we need to be able to do something about it. We talk about it a lot recently on the family level, and that's where it starts. So Blood, J-Chains Crusader, myself, we've all got families. We want to start on the family, on that biological nuclear level, teach our families what we believe, and then it moves and it gets bigger from there. And I think that, for me, is the only way that it's going to take time. It's going to take a lot of time, but I think it starts at that fundamental family level. I don't see it happening any other way because the rest of the world seems like.
Can I just chime in? I know I had internet connection when we were talking about Europack and your boy Peter Schiff, man. Mm-hmm. The irony, bro. Oh my God. Like, I love it, but it should show us, and this is a topic we don't talk about much online in regards to crypto. I know, I think Miguel talked about him having, the bank having like tax evasion issues and all of that. This is one thing that we don't talk about in crypto. The ability to tax evade is very easy. You don't have those problems. Of course, if you go back to
hold on.
Give me those secrets, Blood. Give me those secrets.
No kidding, bro. We're on the blockchain. We're publicly verifiable. How is that easy?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, if you never go back to fiat.
Oh, if you never exit back into the fiat system.
Right. So eventually we want to get to a point where we are in a closed ecosystem where we don't have to go back to fiat as much. Okay. Companies and small businesses can just accept crypto. Mm-hmm. At that point, yes, the company, the government could hypothetically or theoretically say any company accepting crypto will have to abide by XYZ rules, sure. But I feel like crypto is closer to physical cash, but in a digital form, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. It really is. It's closer to physical cash where I can exchange something with you, Keeper, on a one-on-one basis, and they wouldn't be able to tax us on that. So peer-to-peer transaction in taxation is going to be damn near impossible. So I'm just saying that all that to say, Peter Schiff is always talking about crypto is this, Bitcoin is this, Bitcoin is not this. But the very reason he's being, kind of shut down, or one of the main reasons, was tax evasion and some other things. I think there were some banking requirements that he wasn't upholding to, like Basel. You have to, as a bank, you have to adhere to Basel rules, right? Minimum
holdings requirements.
Right, minimum requirements and all that stuff. Hey, man, come on over to crypto. Come on over to Death Row, Peter Schiff. You don't want the FBI all in your videos, all in your accounting. Come to crypto.
Yeah, he does. He does. I think he knows that. I just think that his pride and ego probably are going to be something that might stop him from just I'm
actually a Peter Schiff fan. I've been following Peter Schiff since 2011 or 10.
Yeah,
very smart guy.
Dude, he's incredibly intelligent.
And we talked about that. One thing though, that Bitcoin thing where he keeps denying it and keeps, falsely putting, information out there about Bitcoin and stuff is the only thing I have a problem with. Everything else, he is, in my book, he is Gucci on.
Yeah, well, we think that maybe he does. I mean, like the whole story about his kidney and all that. Like maybe he does that just for the sake to get it cheaper than That's like his fun little joke.
I don't know, man.
Little marketing tactic.
He seems pretty gung ho on it. I mean, if he is, he's a good actor.
So
I,
just
I think that's. I mean, you can't accept it for like services and all that shit, and like actually hate it. Like that wouldn't. It would be such a. You'd be an actual hypocrite. Like it's got to be a shtick. It has to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like JP Morgan, right? Talks a lot of
But he said,
bullshit
you
about
know,
Bitcoin, but
he's
buys
been
it.
accepting Bitcoin for quite some time. It's been like years. I'm talking like 2000. I want to say 14, 15.
Like
he was
OG,
accepting
like
Bitcoin.
OG shit.
Really, but his whole thing is, oh, that's just my service, my merchant or payment provider allows us to accept it, and we convert it immediately into fiat. So I don't know, man. It's just it's crazy. I love it, honestly.
Yeah, it is interesting seeing somebody that's been so gung-ho one direction now feeling a little bit of pain, and the answer is in the thing that he's been so gung-ho against.
I joked on Twitter when I saw it. I said, oh, you've been holding crypto all along. You know how everybody else is holding Voyager, Celsius. Kind of ironic you fold around the same time that they do.
No doubt. Crypto fam, we appreciate you guys. J Chains, Blood, appreciate you for coming on this evening, Saturday night. You guys, just along with everybody in the chat, could be anywhere, but you're here, so we appreciate you coming on. Crypto fam, July 30th. Don't miss the free mint. Listen, gas fees right now, if you didn't know, the GUE now is low, like super low. So let's assume that's going to stay there for a couple weeks. Plus, my boy Miguelito over here has got an optimized contract. So these gas prices are going to be absolutely low. So make sure that you guys are checking that out. Get into the Discord. Don't miss that. And then we got Blood and J Chains, Meta Money up underneath the video. Make sure that you guys are following them. If you're not following them already, I don't know what you're doing in the crypto space anyway. You're lost. You need to get yourself back on track.
I'll be on Meta Money next week.
Yes, yeah, let's go. Let's go. Yeah, we're gonna be sitting down with Meta Money next week as well. So you already know we're excited about that. So make sure that you guys are doing all of that. Smash the likes before you leave here. Just remember to question everything,
trust nothing,
and until next time, hodl
like it's hot.
We'll see you soon.